So we took it out and we had a good time, and then I was driving around and we took it back and stopped at my brother's house, shut it off for literally 5 minutes, and click, click, nothing. Had to put jump start on it. It was running fine, but when I'd hit the brakes, the radio would shut off, flashers weren't working, and this thing is, it's loaded with electronics, you know. Just kidding. Oh, and look, when I washed it, I got a little close with the pressure washer and blasted some stuff off of it. So I'm going to take it and put it in the paint booth. There we go. So it's running well. I see the alternator belt flapping a little bit down there. I can't tell. So I've been having a situation with the Camaro. It died on me. Had to jump start it, get it running. I disconnected this, assuming that a new alternator would be good. That's an assumption. Don't do that. Battery has always been good. It's been holding a charge. I put the battery charger on it, charged it up. It held a charge. That's fine. I was having problems with the stereo. Well, apparently the alternator wasn't putting out enough oomph to the stereo. And I've tested this thing about 4 different ways. You know, the old go-tos was, with an older vehicle like this, what you can do is pull one of the cables off of the battery while it's running. If it dies, that's no good. That's probably still good. It's running off of that. The car's not supposed to be running off of that. The car's supposed to be running off of that. That's putting out the power to run the car. Extra juice goes here, charges this back up for the next time you start it. One of the best ways to test this is in an older car without a bunch of electronics and junk. Pull a cable while it's running. If it dies, that's good, that's bad. If it keeps running, that's good, that's bad. Never disconnect the positive, always do the negative, or the opposite of what I'm doing right now. Negative's in here, it's hard to get to, so go with the positive. If you do positive, just don't hit any metal, you know, from here to here. That kind of stuff. And there you go. The battery was actually running the car. The alternator is junk. Simple. Now, there's another way to test it. If you don't have a bunch of knowledge and equipment, and I just showed you, you take a non-magnetic screwdriver, and this little guy back here, while it's running, check that. If it's magnetized, chances are that alternator is fine. If it's not magnetized while it's running and spinning, that alternator is junk. Get rid of it. Another way to test it is with one of these deals. Really cheap, fairly reliable. Turn it on, it tells you voltage. Hook to positive, negative to negative, or negative to positive, positive to negative. Anyhow, you hook her up. Positive, negative, red, red, black, black. It'll tell you your voltage. And you want, like, usually you get 14 something out of there. That's a little bit extra to send power back to here. If you're getting exactly 12 or under, that's garbage. When I pulled the cable off and the engine died, that tells me the alternator is not doing its job. That's a pretty easy test. Don't do that on a newer car. That's no good. Newer cars are sissies and they can't handle that kind of stuff because they got all these computers and doodads and gizmos and whirligigs. So on an older vehicle that's just got a carburetor, electronic ignition with a coil, you can get away with it, no problem. If you're having a charging problem, that's the easiest way to test if it's the alternator or the battery. If it keeps running when you, which it should keep running when you pull the cable, the alternator's fine. It's running the car, and then when you pull the cable, it's got nowhere to send the extra power, but it's still running the car. When you pull the battery and the engine stops, then it's not working. And all your power was coming from your battery, which won't last very long. So the battery's fine. That's junk. Gonna change it out. So if you've watched any of my channels for any length of time, you would know that I mostly use Rock Auto. Rock Auto is a great place. They've got affordable parts, always fit. I've never had a problem, never sent anything back, never had an issue getting delivery and stuff like that. Affordable prices. If I'm fixing someone else's car and they're willing just to save a bunch of money, if I'm working on my daily driver, that's one thing. But on the Camaro, it's a different story. Jegs is the way to go. I got myself an alternator. I love the way that the chrome one looked on it for the longest time. It went bad. Replaced it with the one that's on there now that's not working. So who cares what it looks like? It doesn't work. So I went and got myself a chrome one. We're going to take a look and see what Jegs sent me. Jegs sent this thing out like they're fast, man, on their deliveries, which makes sense because they use FedEx, and FedEx is the trucks that you see flying down the highway, speeding through our job sites. This thing got here so fast it showed up 2 days before I ordered it. Oh, look what they got for me in here. All right, nice catalog, newspaper type of catalog. Some bathroom reading anyhow. Oh, Rock Auto comes through and sends me magnets all the time, every delivery. But look at this, Jegs is stepping it up. Gotta get it bent right away. There you go. Isn't that cool? Just because I haven't ordered from them in a while because they are expensive, but they're good. So Rock Auto, Jegs sent me a hat. You're gonna have to up your game. All right, so I ended up going with the red bow tie chrome alternator. How do we open this up? Some way. Here's the thing. All right. Instructions. Alternator. It did include the alternator. And there it is. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Look, it spins too. And it's got the red bow tie on it. Is that just a sticker? Well, I'll be dipped. I bet you that's all it is, and they made me pay more money for that. Actually, I think it might have been the same price or cheaper. It is. That's just a sticker. So, if you're thinking about ordering this particular alternator, just know that that's just a sticker. It's just a decal. I thought maybe it was engraved and painted, you know, but it's not. It is a plug and play where you just put your 1 bolt to the battery on here and you should be good to go. But I have this connection on my car also, so I'm going to go ahead and hook that up. And I couldn't stop myself. I started ordering parts on Sunday night, and then Monday morning I woke up and looked at my email, and I had all kinds of stuff coming in that I didn't even know I was ordering. I'm not going to say why, but I got this as well. And after I realized what I ordered here, I started looking at the reviews, and a lot of people were none too happy with this. I'm going to give it an honest review. They said thinner than they expected. I mean, it's shiny chrome. Looks nice. At a glance, looking at this versus what's on the vehicle from the factory, it's about the same thing, but they're saying this doesn't work right. This is like the wrong angle here. I'll have to figure that out. But if I'm going to put a chrome alternator on it, why have the black painted factory old, you know? And then we got this bracket as well. This is definitely beefier than that one. This one is pretty thin, but I don't know. I'll compare it to the other one. Once I get them off, we'll take a look and we'll see. At first glance, it does look the same, right? Chrome, and then the factory one. There is no, what I am running up here is, I just got a zip tie holding the fuel line kind of tight. This fuel line is actually, you know, it's chrome. I bent this. I bought it from a hardware store. It is plumbing line for the back of a toilet. Chrome water line. It works. And it's a lot cheaper. this zip tie going through these two holes, holding this up just to keep it off the alternator. And there's also a hole back here where I've got a ground wire going for my choke on the carburetor. The one thing I noticed at first glance is this is a pry. For me, it's a pry hole. I put a little leverage in there and pry it back to tighten up the belt on this thing. This one has nothing like that. It's not a big deal, because typically you can grab that and pull it back tight enough to get it to where the belt's not going to squeal and it's not going to slip. So let's see what's up. Now the first thing that I want to do whenever I'm working on the 78 Camaro is I want to get out my rack of metric sockets and throw them away. Because this is an American-made car, made in America by American parts by Americans, and we used American measurements, 1/2 inch, 9/16. That's what I need. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect the positive battery cable, because you're supposed to disconnect the negative cable, and I'm a rebel. Negative cable because for some reason, and I pulled the positive because it's right there and it's easier to get to than that, and I usually leave it loose. So we take a 1/2 inch socket, boom, and we make sure lefty loosey, righty tighty. Bring that sucker up a little bit. Done. Look at that. Already mostly done with this job. I'm pretty excited to see how this is going to look. I had a chrome alternator on here originally, and I loved it, but it stopped working as well. So we'll see what happens. 9/16 on the bottom. Look at that. Already loose, ready to come out. It's eager. So that's loose. Got to unplug this wire here. That's to the gauge that I don't have, which I don't care. And then I've got the power cable going to the battery here that I need to get unhooked. Remove that boot. Come here, look. So making sure that your terminal is off of there and you're not having power going to this wire. This is hot. This is going to be connected directly to the battery. I need to get that loose, and then this comes out. That is important that you disconnect the battery before you mess with that, because it'll spark and arc, and then pretty soon you're accidentally welding stuff under here, and you don't want to do that. A little under the hood welding is a bad idea. Again, we're back to, I think I'm on a 1/2 inch here. Let's see. No, it's a little bit smaller than a 1/2. Well, I'll be dipped. I wonder if they put some kind of weird metric thing on it. I only had my glasses. Let's see what 7/16 says. There it is, 7/16. All right, so I needed 3 sizes here. 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16. Get that sucker turned loose. That's there, so it falls down into oblivion and I'll never find it again. And there we go. It's a pretty easy fix. Oh, do you hear that? Check this out. That's relatively new. You can see it. No good. Versus how this one sounds. See? No click, click, click. All right, let's throw this sucker back on here. See, oh, I'm not changing this yet. I got to change the brackets. Nine 9/16. Now this is the bracket that's in question that came from Jegs, and some of the reviews on it are saying that it won't fit because this is the wrong bend. It might be a case of having a long water pump and a short water pump. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of water pump I got. I know it's a bad one. It's going out. What the? Alright, here we go. 9/16. This goes into the front of the water pump. This belt is in the way of getting us a ratchet in there. So I'll take my time, old school it, you know, no big deal. It's not a long bolt or anything. Come on. Should change the water pump on here. No. Not gonna do it. It don't overheat. Okay. That bolt's out. Good. This is loose. Excellent. Alright, there's one. Oh, another one. I did this with the fuel line because it was laying across the heater hoses and getting a lot of heat. And one day the car started running poorly. I pulled over to check out what was going on, and the fuel in the line going to the carburetor was vaporizing. It was extremely hot. That's not a good thing. So I actually might try and reroute it now that I got this bracket off and get it even further away from the heater hoses. I think I pulled the heater hoses down before just to get them out of the way. We should be good to go. That's just a ground wire. I got to figure out where I'm going to put this now because that's a ground wire running to the choke on the carburetor, and I need to send it somewhere else because the new one doesn't have that unless I drill a hole in it, which I probably will, maybe not. I don't know. So I'm going to compare these before I throw this one across the garage like I always do, just to see if they're going to match up. And then I think that's the answer. So there's been a lot of people saying that this bracket is no good for this 78 Camaro 350. I don't see a problem with it yet. It is thinner. The metal is much thinner. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it's chrome. This is not. It's got a bunch of holes in it. So just real quick, I'm going to throw this back down under just to see how it's going to look. They said there's no way I'm going to make that work. There's no way. See, I think what might have been happening is they were using it for a long water pump that would be sticking out farther here, so it's not lining up. I don't know. At this point, I see no issues. I think that's going to bolt in just perfectly. So we'll lay it up here so I can scratch that. And then I wanted to buy this chrome, but I didn't. I wonder if I've got a socket that length. You know, I don't like this little piece on here. This isn't necessary for my application. I might cut that off, leave it black, clean it up a little bit. It's got a little bit of oil on it. Or maybe not. And then the only other thing is I've got this bracket now to replace that old one with. I'm going to pull that one now. See what we got going on. So there's a long bolt, ground strap, long bolt, pivot point on the alternator. These are also 9/16, if I'm being honest. And I am. Get that one out. Nancy Wilson next time. I said it again, Nancy Wilson. I know. So what? I know. But you know, if you know, you know. Nancy Wilson. Nerds. Okay, all right, enough of that. That'd be smart if I used a ratchet. This is taking forever. All right, that one's out. Gee, I wish I could remember where all these bolts go. Doesn't matter, they're all the same. That's it. Actually, if anything, the replacement chrome one is a little beefier than, they're about the same, I guess. Almost identical. So, factory chrome, same thickness, same gauge. Yeah. That's one are these screws? Come on. Okay, so there is a minor fitment issue with this bracket, which is jegs. There you go, there's the number. 76 through 86 small block Chevy Chrome 5056-4. Made in China. That's keywords, but they've probably never seen a Camaro. It goes. I could see it being tricky for someone who's impatient and in a hurry. You need to start this bolt first, leave it loose, leave it super loose, and then get this guy started. Once they're started, you can just run them on and it'll fit itself. So yes, there's a slight, very small issue with mounting that, but so what? It fits, it goes. You just have to take your time. Don't get in a big hurry. Okay, here we go. All right, well, here we are. The paint looks really nice. I think it came out beautifully. Yeah, so there it is. I will say the difficulty level was nothing really. It's just an alternator on an old car, but the bracket I had to like a little bit just to get it to, after I bolted that one and that one. Bolt them loose, leave them loose so you can wiggle it around. This one here is a slot, you can see that, so you've got a little bit of movement there. This one's not a slot, so you need to bolt it in, leave it loose, get that one on, wiggle it around. Once the alternator's in, you need to like a little bit to get her up in the air so it fits, because the fins were hitting the brackets, so this was down too low. The red bow tie is just a sticker. I'm sure it's going to be gone pretty soon. Whatever, I paid extra for that sticker. We'll see how it works. It's ready to roll, I guess. I got her moving. We're going to fire this thing up, see if I'm squealing a belt or charging anything. Let's check it out. All right, so she's running. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but down in here, that's it. Definitely have magnetism on the back of the alternator, so we know it's good. Well, we know it's not bad. That's the quickest, easiest way to check it out. So there it is, easy fix. She's running fine, belt's not squealing. I think it looks cool. It was a little more expensive than a regular alternator, but it's shiny. So everything's working fine. There's definitely a magnetic pull on that back centerpiece that I was telling you about earlier. So that's it. It's a quick, easy. A lot of people might say I'm crazy, but that is a quick, easy way to test it. Just put a magnet or a screwdriver that's not magnetic and set it back there. This guy right here. If this does not have a magnetic pull on it when it's running, I promise you it's no good. At least on the older school cars. There you go. So she's back up and running. We'll get out on the road. I'm gonna take some time and hook this back up, get the amp dialed back in while the alternator wasn't powering the amp nice enough. So I messed with it, turned it up, and now it's going to be stupid. So I've got to fix that, and then I'm going to get on the road. So there you go. We'll see how long it lasts, how well it works. The chrome brackets, like I said, that's the jegs brackets that I got. There's the part number. You may or may not like it. I know a lot of people said it's hard to hook up. They said that the thing doesn't fit right. It really doesn't. It needs to be twisted and tweaked, but I didn't need to drill any holes or weld anything onto it, so it's good enough. It fits, it stays, it's tight. Bottom bracket was perfect. And yeah, we're ready to get out and run. So until you see me next time, God bless you and yours, and stay safe. See you next time. Thanks for watching.